Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this webinar by Coding Bootcamps on AWS. So this is basically a job-oriented career change program. Here in this webinar, we'll be discussing about how you can enhance your career in AWS. So the prerequisite to attend this webinar is you must have a basic understanding of IT. Okay, basic understanding of IT doesn't mean that you must be a master of IT or you must know what a server is or what a operating system is. You must have basic understanding of how to use a laptop or how to use a desktop. So the webinar is being taken by myself. I'm Gaurav Abnare and I am an computer science graduate and I'm a Red Hat certified system administrator. And currently I work as a cloud architect and a DevOps engineer. So before starting with the webinar, I would like to have some, I would like to have some discussion about your IT backgrounds, like from which background you are from, like from IT background or from non-IT background, or how many years of experience do you have? Okay. So you can unmute yourself and introduce yourself, and you can tell us about your experience in IT, how many years of experience you have in IT, or how many, or if you are new to IT. So I will be able to guide you more well in this webinar.
Sure, I'll go if you can hear me. My name's John. I've been in IT for about 30 years, but I come from a Microsoft background, so I'm interested in learning Amazon's ecosystem and the various levels and certifications that they have from an Amazon platform perspective.
I see. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, if you're working in Microsoft background, so like these days, all these Windows Server operating systems, these networking, everything is going in the cloud. Now, like people are migrating from on-prem to the cloud. Like earlier, they used to run all the on-premise infrastructure running on the on-premises. Now they are moving towards the cloud, moving all the resources toward the cloud.
Can you hear me? This is Carl.
Yes, I can.
Yeah, so my name is Carl Love. I actually currently work as a cloud engineer. Um, I have about 2.5, 3 years experience as a cloud engineer and probably about 6.5, 7 years of IT experience. I'm actually currently studying for this the Solutions Architect Professional certification. So just yeah, that's pretty much my career track. The last 3 years, I've been primarily working in Azure, with a little work in AWS, but primarily in Azure. And I already have the Azure Solutions Architect Expert certification. So now I'm trying to look to master the AWS platform.
I see. If we see, like almost 60% of market is covered by AWS, which means like almost all the companies are more over shifting to AWS cloud platform. There are some companies who are using Azure platform, or there are companies who are using GCP, but almost 60% of share is of AWS. So almost 60% of infrastructures for the companies are migrating towards AWS. And there is lots of job opportunities also available for as a cloud architect or a cloud engineer in AWS. As the market needs is high, so there is lots of job requirements as well as a cloud architect or a cloud engineer or a cloud system admin.
Hey Gaurav, this is Vimal. I'm in IT for almost like 20 years. Right now I'm working as product support, um, basically for Informatica and related products. Um, we are, slowly shifting into AWS space, and I'm here to uh, know like how to get into this space and where to start basically.
I see. Yeah, so this is a very introduction to cloud computing, and we'll be discussing how you can build your career in cloud. And we'll be seeing what are the cloud certifications available and what are the jobs available. Okay, and what is the pay scale if we get the cloud certification in AWS.
Hello Gaurav, this is Sulagna. I am a Python developer. Hello. I mostly work in backend. I have done some standalone applications and some web development with Django. So yeah, so unfortunately our company does not is like has a on-premises backend. They are not into cloud yet. I would just like to get into AWS, and I'm currently studying for the AWS Cloud Practitioner certificate. So I would like to get more information, like what kind of an expertise would I need to crack that certification? That is what I'm here for.
Okay. So basically, it doesn't matter what is our background. Like if we are coming from a development background, or if we are coming as a tester background, or we are a system admin. So the cloud is for all of the fields. Like it's for developers also, it's for testers also, it's for system admins also. Okay, so here we can, like if you are a developer, so it's a plus point if you are a developer, because these days we are implementing DevOps, okay, development plus operations. So in the cloud also we can implement development plus operations, and also we can, let's say if you want to test your applications which you have written, so you can easily test the applications on the cloud, and you can make a very good career in cloud by learning AWS. So you can become a developer. There are some career fields which you can go as a developer in cloud technology and with AWS.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Elonzo Goldman here. Originally, my career path stemmed from creative to marketing, digital marketing into IT. That is definitely a major interest that I've had over the course of the few years that I've been exposed to AWS. So currently, I have sat and passed the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner and the AWS Solutions Architect associate exam. And currently I am studying actually with Mr. Carl Love in a study group to pass the AWS Solutions Professional exam.
Nicely.
Hello, my name is Marina. I'm a front-end engineer, and the company I'm working at uses AWS heavily for everything. And I already have practitioner's certificate and looking for different ways to speed up my learning process, and currently trying to prepare for AWS Solutions Architect.
Yeah, there are many companies who are adapting cloud these days, like who are like moving all their on-premises, and even the applications which they are trying to develop, they are all trying their application to develop on the cloud, because cloud is scalable. It is highly available if you want to deploy our application on the cloud. So it is much easier than having an on-prem infrastructure to test our application or to develop our application as compared to the cloud, as compared to the on-prem infrastructure.
I think most people introduce themselves in the chat.
Oh, I see PJ, he has like 17 years of experience in IT. Richard has 2 years backend and he's studying Vue.js. Arena has 10 years of experience in web development, mostly front end. Papi is a full stack web developer with 1 year of experience. Scene has 2.5 years of experience and he is an AWS certified developer associate. And he's looking for a new certification to go ahead. And Eric is an SQL administrator. DB, he works on DB designing the database, and he has experience of 8 years. Alonso is an IT. He works in transitioning, and he has experience of 2.5 years in IT. Oh, sorry, 2.5 years of experience in AWS. Chetan is a technical project manager with 17 years of experience. And now he's preparing for the Cloud Solutions Developer Associate exam. So I see most of the people who are joining are from development background and some are, almost all are from the IT background. So that is good. As I said, the background doesn't matter if you are a developer or if you are a tester. Cloud has opportunities for all. It has opportunities for system admin, developers, testers, for everyone. There is opportunity in the cloud. If you are a developer, so you can make your career as a DevOps engineer using AWS services, which are dedicated for developers. Okay. If you are a system admin or a server admin, so uh, you can learn the services like EC2 service, which is for deploying servers on the cloud. If you are a database administrator, so you can learn RDS service. Okay, and these are some of the services which are highly used by organizations. Okay, RDS or EC2, where we can spin our virtual servers, where we can spin our RDS databases. These are some of the core services of any cloud. And these are the services which are used by any enterprise. Okay. Okay, now let us move ahead with our webinar. So first we will be discussing about why we must build our career in cloud. Okay. So almost all the IT companies on the market, whether it is whether the company is in like a sales company or whether it is an IT, it is an VPS company or a hosting company. So all the companies are using cloud. All the companies are adopting cloud. Why? Because cloud is highly scalable. In cloud, we can easily scale up and we can easily get globally in seconds. Okay, just by few clicks, we can easily get global. Now, let's say today, if I want to, let's say I'm working in an organization and my organization wants to host a website. My developer has wrote some code and my company wants to host the website. So for hosting the website, they need a server. So first they need to buy a server, then they need to buy some networking devices through which their website will be live and accessible over the internet. So to buy the server, to set up the server and to set up their on-premise infrastructure, so it might take them maybe a week or maybe 10-15 days to just to set up their infrastructure. But in the cloud, instead of like purchasing any server or instead of buying like expensive servers, we can easily have a server for rent on the cloud on hourly basis, and it is very cheaper as compared to purchasing a server a hardware server on on-premise network. Before talking about cloud, let us talk about traditional data centers. What used to happen earlier when there was no cloud? So now let's say an organization want to host an application. Let's say they want to host an web server. They want to host a website. Let's take an example of Amazon.com. Let's say Amazon.com wants to host their website. So Amazon.com is also a website and it is running on a web server. Okay. So let's say any company wants to host a website. So they need a server. The first requirement is they need a server. The second thing they require is a router, okay, which is a networking device through which we can expose our server to the internet. The third thing which we require is we require a vacant room, a dedicated vacant room where we can host our, where we can keep our server. Now the third thing we require is continuous 24/7 hour, a 24/7 power supply to the server. And if there is a power cut or there is a downtime, then we need a generator to ensure that this website is working 24/7 up. Okay, let's say if we are hosting a, if you take an example of Facebook.com or Yahoo.com, so it is also running in the same architecture. It is also running in the same architecture. But if you see Facebook.com or YouTube.com or Google.com, it is never down. Okay, it is never down. It means anytime at night 2 a.m. also, if we try to access it, we are able to access it. It is not like that, like only on the daytime it is running and at the night time it is off. It is 24/7 up and running, okay, throughout the year. So there is no downtime of these applications, these Facebook or YouTube or of Google.com. So there is no downtime and they are running in this same architecture which we are seeing here. So there is one server, there is one router, there is one generator, and to make sure this machine is up and running, they have some, we need to implement one coolant. Let's say we have an air conditioner and it will make sure the server is cool. Let's say if we have a desktop or a laptop, if we keep it 24/7 up and running, so after some time, automatically it gets heated and automatically, let's say if we keep our laptop up for more than 1 day, so automatically it gets shut down, okay, or automatically it gets rebooted. So just to make sure it doesn't exceeds the heat or exceeds the temperature, so then for that we also need a coolant. So this is the architecture how any website on the internet is running. There is one server, one router, there is one vacant space, one generator, one coolant. Okay, this is the architecture how any website on the internet is running. Okay, so let's say my organization wants to host a website. So my organization first requires a vacant room. They need a server, they need a router, they need a coolant, they need to ensure there is 24/7 supply, they need a generator. So these are all the resources which my organization needs. Okay, so let's say these are the resources which the organization needs. And now let's say they want to host this application tomorrow. Okay, they want to host this application in a day. So it is not possible for them to host the application within a day because they have to maintain these resources. They have to purchase these resources, then deploy the application. Okay, so it will take maybe more than a day or maybe more than a week. Okay, but using cloud, we can host this without purchasing all these resources or without maintaining these resources. Okay, let's say if I'm hosting my website in this way, so I have to maintain the resources also. Okay, I have to maintain the generator, I have to maintain the air conditioner, I have to maintain all the resources also here. But in the cloud, all the resources are managed by the cloud provider. The cloud provider also have the same architecture, but the cloud provider is managing the architecture, means they have a big data center. Okay, this architecture is also called, this architecture is called a data center, where all the IT resources are present. The servers, the networking devices, all the networking infrastructure is present inside a data center. So these are all the resources which are required to host a application. So earlier, when there was no cloud, so people used to uh, maintain a data center, which now is called an on-premise data center or a traditional data center. Okay, where they have to purchase all the servers, they have to purchase all the networking devices, they have to purchase all the networking devices, they have to purchase the storage servers, and everything they have to maintain. Okay, and on time of, let's say they have to scale up. Okay, now let's say my company has to host 10 servers, 10 applications. Right now my company is running only one application inside this server. Now let's say they want to host 10 applications. Okay, so then they have to purchase 10 servers. And now to keep this 10 servers, they need some space, they need the networking devices. Okay, and also they need to buy all the 10 servers, and it can take maybe more than a week or maybe 15 days or maybe a month to just to buy the servers. But in the cloud, all these resources are already present. Let's say if we talk about AWS, so AWS has data centers all over the world, and inside one data center they have thousands of servers. They have thousands of servers, they have thousands of networking devices, thousands of resources which are required to run the applications. So this is basically how a data center looks like. So earlier, before the cloud, this is how we used to host the application. And now in the cloud, once the cloud is there, so this data center is basically being provided by a cloud provider. What AWS is providing? AWS is providing just a data center to us. This is the data center which AWS is providing, where they have already created all these resources. We don't have to create any of these resources. Already they have created the servers, everything they have created. We are just accessing these resources over the internet. Okay, let's say this is a company. Let's say this is a company and they want to host their application. Okay, they want to host their website. So earlier they used to maintain a data center. They have to buy servers, they have to buy all the generators, coolant, networking devices, storage servers. But after cloud, the company don't have to manage a data center. They can use AWS data center, and they can provision their servers on the AWS data centers. Okay, so they don't have to manage any server, they don't have to purchase any server, and the best part is they can easily scale up and scale down. Okay, what does scale up means? Let's say there is an application. Let us take an example of Amazon.com. So on New Year sale or on Christmas sale, the traffic on the website is 10 times. Okay, it is 10 times as compared to the traffic in usual days. So if the traffic is 10 times, so then they require more servers to handle the traffic. Okay, so in cloud they can easily scale up. Using cloud they can easily scale up and easily scale down. But let's say in the on-premise, if they have only one server, and let's say the company has introduced a sale or something like that in their application, where they will get lots of customers. So if they want to scale up, so they cannot scale up. They can scale up, but it is not instantly, they cannot scale up. Let's say they have planned and sale at the next day and they want to scale up. They want more 10 servers to handle the traffic. So that is not possible for them, because before that they have to purchase the servers and they have to deploy the applications on it. So it will take maybe a week or maybe a month to accomplish that. But in the cloud, we can easily scale up. We can easily scale up because all the servers are already there. The servers are already there. We are just using those servers. Okay, because the resources, the servers, everything is there. We are just utilizing it. So we can easily scale up and we can easily scale down. Okay, so let's say even in the on-premise, let's say if they have scaled up, let's say they purchase 3 servers, and after 5 days their traffic will get usual. Means let's say their traffic was like, let's say they have 100,000 visits a day, and let's say on the sale they will have 10,000 traffic on their site. So they can scale up, they can deploy more servers for handling the traffic. Now after 5 days their traffic will become usual, which is of 1,000 users. Now they have to scale down. So these servers will be of no use for them. So these servers will be of no use for them. And if they have purchased the servers, so they will be in a loss. Okay. But in the cloud, we can easily scale up and we can easily scale down as we purchase the resources in the cloud on rent. Okay. We purchase the resources on the cloud on hourly basis. Okay. Do you guys have any questions still here?
Do you know how much money people save by scaling up and down?
On the on-premise or on the cloud?
Let's say if I have similar setup in on-premise and I'm moving on cloud, how much money people would save? And I'm talking about like not the like small companies. I'm talking like the large, bigger companies. Like how much money do they really save money, or it's just more easy to scale up and down?
Yeah, if we talk about enterprises, so they are like saving like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay, they are basically saving, I would say, in millions they are saving.
But do they have like kind of any mechanism or anything? Do the AWS provide some kind of information like by implementing this solution, you're gonna save this much money?
Yeah, let's say if they want to set up this environment in their on-premise. So let's say if we talk about if we want to set up this infrastructure in our on-premise, if a company wants to set up, so they will require okay. So let's say if they want to buy a server, so server basically costs like around $2,000. So the server cost is $2,000. The router cost is $300. And let's say they want to, their monthly power supply bill will be like around $500. And if they are purchasing a generator, so it might cost like around $1,500. And for air conditioner, like $500. And if we see the total, so the total is around almost $5,000. Now they have to also run this. They have to run this 24/7 and throughout the year. So the power supply bill is monthly. So let's say it is of $500 a month. So for a year, it will be $60,000.
Yeah, but let's say these are the number derived by us, right? But do the Amazon have like specific numbers for us? Let's say having this many server or this versus what you have on-prem. Do they give those kind of reference? Because this is something I can put like 500 for electric, or I can put 1,000. I can bump it up number easily by adding a couple of $100 here, right? But like, do they have Amazon provide those kind of statistics? Like I can understand, and CloudWatch, you can monitor how much you are utilizing. But in theory, like if I'm using AWS, same whatever the infrastructure right now, and my CloudWatch is saying, let's say if we are using you are like spending like infrastructure we have on premise, this is going to cost you, I'm going to say $1.5 million. Do they provide those kind of stats? Because I need to see the
No,
realistic
actually, it depends
number.
upon. Yeah, actually, it depends upon the resources which you are setting up in the on-prem environment.
Yeah, but I mean that resource, can they map like what is on-prem? I mean, estimate, like, because I mean I can understand, I can easily say that okay, it's gonna cost me the server is gonna cost me here in Amazon, let's say $50 versus on-premise, let's say I have like $1,000 server, but that server I have for my rest of the life, so I just need to just keep it maintained. Now the question is like how that cost, like spending one-time cost and paying every time to Amazon, and how it's going to manipulate and how it's going to impact over the time the cost and burden to the organization. Do they like provide those kind of details, like is there any way I can say tell you that I'm spending right now $1 million versus 1.5 million?
So I don't know if they provide depending on how much you want to spend, right? Maybe you could talk to a salesperson, they can give you those numbers. They do post case studies for various enterprises out there. So you can see roughly what they were spending from a data center perspective and what they saved when they converted to AWS. So you could probably extrapolate and cite those case studies at least to back up, what the savings are. I think you'd probably have to talk to, depending on how much you're willing to spend, they may be able to do a evaluation for you at that point. But I don't work for Amazon. I'm just from my knowledge there. So I don't know if that helps.
Gotcha. Yeah, it does actually. So okay, that makes sense. So okay, so it's just like based on some kind of studies that something salespeople work with.
Right. So they look like, I'm just looking at their website on the side: Expedia, Intuit, Shell, Brooks Brothers, Dow Jones, Airbnb, Nextdoor, Lyft. Like, so you can kind of go through and look at their case studies and see what they've saved, you know what I mean? And then see what's similar to your company and be able to cite that possibly.
Perfect. Cool. Thanks.
Yep.
This is Sean. So I think also if you're looking to be the person who is trying to sell the idea of moving to the cloud, you're also going to want to do a financial analysis and inventory of your current company or organization's IT infrastructure, so that you can give that comparison to the decision makers.
Exactly. Yeah. So basically, if we see the resources which we are creating on-prem, the same resources if we spin up in the cloud. So it is like, I would say 20-30% cheaper as compared to on-prem. Okay. And if we talk about the pricing estimate, if we compare it with on-prem or with the cloud, so basically it depends upon what resources you are running in your on-prem environment. Okay, it depends upon what servers you are using, what processors you are using, what amount of RAM you are using. all those things basically it depends upon what resources you are running. Also, if you want to maintain this infrastructure, so you need a dedicated plot. You need a dedicated space to have this infrastructure. Okay, so you need to buy land also for that. Okay, so it's a very expensive thing to build a data center. To building a data center, it's $1 million project. Okay, where we'll be having like thousands of servers to thousands of servers. So it's a so for building a data center itself, it's $1 million project. So if we talk about using AWS, so it's very cheap. We don't have even, it is very cheap, and the plus point is here we don't have to manage any resources, or we don't have to manage any of the resources which are running inside the data center. The power supply or the security, everything is taken care by the cloud provider. If we are using AWS or Azure or GCP, everything is taken care by the cloud provider itself. We don't have to take care about whether the server is running or not, or any security issues. Everything is taken care by the cloud provider. And we can go global in minutes. Okay, earlier what we used to do, we used to spin up the servers. We need to buy the servers. Okay, and like to buy the server, it might take like maybe a week or 15 days or a month to get the servers. But on the cloud, we can get those servers instantly. We don't have to wait for a week or for a month to get to just get the servers ready. So that's the reason we must build our career in cloud, because all the IT companies these days, they are not building their on-premise infrastructure. They are using the cloud to build their on-premise infrastructure. Okay, and companies like all the companies are not investing now on the traditional data centers. Okay, they are moving towards the cloud. Now let's say all the companies, if they want to deploy their new applications, so they are not going through the on-prem way. They are going through the cloud, which is quite cheaper and which is highly scalable. We can easily scale up and scale down as compared to on-prem environments. And it is expected that in the year 2020, in the upcoming years and in the year 2020, there is lots of job requirements. There is lots of opportunities in the cloud. Okay, if you check Indeed.com, there are like more than 10,000 jobs available as a cloud AWS administrator or as a solutions architect. So there's a lots of opportunities in the market today also, and it is keep on growing as well. And more than 1.7 million cloud jobs worldwide remaining vacant. Why is that so? Because there are no candidates who are knowledgeable or who are certified in this area. So if you see there is 1.7 million cloud jobs available, it means there are almost like millions of companies who are implementing their infrastructure on the cloud. So cloud computing job ranges from cloud architects, cloud developers to data scientists. As I said, it doesn't depend upon what is your background. It doesn't depends whether you are a developer or a tester or whether you come from a machine learning background. So if you are coming from any of these backgrounds, so there is a wide range of opportunities for you available. Now, if we talk about the average pay scale of a cloud architect, so this is the average pay scale for a cloud architect. So if we see the hourly wages, the weekly wages, monthly salary, and the annual salary. So the average is $150,000. It also depends upon your skill sets if you have like if you are coming from an developer background and you do the cloud certification, so there are some companies who look for cloud architects with some scripting knowledge. Okay, scripting knowledge such as if you know Python or if you know Bash scripting. Okay, those programming languages are used for automating the infrastructure. Okay, like you might guys have heard about Node.js. You might guys have used Node.js for development of backend applications. So using Node.js, we can also automated the creation of resources in the cloud. Okay, so if you are a cloud architect plus a developer, you know some scripting languages, so then the annual salary or the package is far much ahead from what we are seeing here. Now let us discuss about why is AWS certification important. So AWS certification, the solutions architect certification, is one of the highest high demand certification in the IT market today. Means it is in 2017 it was marked as third top IT certification in the market, AWS solutions architect. So by having a certification, anyone can build his career in the cloud. If you are certified, so there are some job opportunities. They look for only certified candidates. Okay, they only look for certified candidates. If you are certified, then getting a job in the cloud as a cloud architect or a cloud administrator is high. So since 2015, AWS is in big boom and cloud jobs are, as we saw, like there were 1.7 million jobs are vacant. So there are lots of opportunities for cloud jobs. And many companies like who were running their on-prem infrastructure, they are now migrating to the cloud. Okay, so if they are migrating to the cloud, so there is still more opportunities in the cloud as a migration engineer, cloud migration engineer. So cloud migration engineer basically takes care of migrating the on-premises to the cloud. So these are the top 5 career options which we can choose by doing the cloud certifications. So we can become an cloud architect, we can become a cloud administrator, we can become a cloud engineer, we can become a cloud developer, and we can become an enterprise solutions architect. So if we do the AWS certification, so these are the career options. So if you are a developer, you can become an AWS cloud developer. If you are a system admin, you can become a cloud administrator. And if you have no knowledge, prior knowledge of any of these, so you can become a cloud architect where you will be designing the infrastructure. And designing the infrastructure basically will be dealing with what are the servers we'll be requiring, what will be the networking resources required, what will be the storage required. All those things we will be discussing in the cloud architect. So how we can reinvent our career in the cloud? So first we need to choose a cloud platform such as AWS. As discussed, AWS has 60% of market shares. Means it is like almost 60% of the companies who are using cloud are using AWS. Okay, so there is more opportunities in AWS as compared to other cloud platforms such as Azure or GCP. Then we should research some services which the cloud provider is providing. Like let's say if you want to host a website, so we should see what are the services which AWS is providing to host the websites. Okay, we must also look what IT companies are using for implementing such solutions. Okay, we must know what are the services which an IT company is using to host their application on the cloud. Okay, like there are some companies who use Elastic Beanstalk service of AWS. That is a very popular service of AWS through which we can deploy our web applications and update, perform and rolling update on the fly. And there we don't have to manage any of the resources. Everything is maintained by AWS itself. So these are some of the popular AWS certifications. Like the first one is AWS Certified Cloud Partitioner. This is the fundamental certification of the AWS. Okay, here we will be discussing about how you can build your career in cloud. How you can provision. Here we will basically discussing about what are the services in AWS and what are the support. This certification is basically for getting an idea of the AWS cloud. Okay. Then the second certification is of Solutions Architect Associate. So here basically we see how we can design the cloud. Here we see what are the services available, how we can use those services to implement a solution on the cloud. Okay, let's say if you want to host an application, so how we can utilize the AWS resources to deploy an application on the cloud. So those things we discuss in the, for those services are covered in the Solutions Architect Associate certification. Now let's say if you're a developer, so for developer, this is the certification, AWS Certified Developer. Okay, and here you will be learning what are the different services which you can use to implement your development. Okay, there are some services like Lambda. Okay, there are some services like Cloud9, okay, which is an online IDE which you can use to develop your applications and which you can use to deploy the application on the cloud. Now, if you are from from a system admin background, so you can go with the AWS Certified SysOps Administrator. So this certification basically covers all the system admin tasks, like how to deploy a server, how to maintain the servers, how to monitor the server, how we can create a backup of the server, okay, how we can have a migration policy. So those things are basically covered in this SysOps certifications, all the administrator level tasks. Then we have the advanced level certification, the top level certification, which is AWS Certified Solutions Architect Professional. Okay, so this certification is basically for those who have already taken the Solutions Architect Associate certification. And this is basically the advanced, or we can say, here basically we discuss more about the core services of AWS and through which we can implement more scalable or more available, highly available cloud designs. Okay, so here basically we discuss about those things in this certification. Then we have AWS DevOps Engineer. So DevOps Engineer certification is for those who are basically a system admin and who are developers. Okay, it is basically the combination of developers and system admins. So before taking the DevOps certification exam, you must have prior knowledge of AWS Certified Developer Certification exam and AWS Certified SysOps Administrator exam. And if you are a security specialist, so if you are coming from a security background, if you are like a cyber security, if you are coming from cyber security field, so then you can go with the security specialist certification exam, which completely deals with all the security services in the cloud. And believe me, this is the highest, means this certification has lots of demand, and it has most, if you see, most of the candidates are going for this certification, the cloud partitioner, solutions architect, developer, or sysops. These 4 certifications are the most popular certifications. But security certification, less people are going for security certification, but there is high demand for uh, security architect as well. Now let us discuss about the AWS Solutions Architect Associate exam. So this is the highly demanding certification in the exam since last 5 years. Okay, from 2015, this is the highly recommended certification exam and high in demand certification which is required by an IT professional. So this certification basically verifies the candidate is able to design, deploy, and secure the infrastructure in the AWS cloud. So let's say if you want to host an application, so basically this certification verifies how well you can deploy the architecture or how well you can deploy your application on the AWS cloud. So do you guys have any questions still here?
Yeah, I have a question. So if you mentioned for the developers that in order to get the DevOps engineer certificate, you first have to have the certified dev associate and the sysops associate. Do you need to have both of those certificates or certifications current before getting the DevOps engineer?
No, actually it is not required, but you must have knowledge of what are the services which are covered in that certifications, in both the certifications, the the developer and the SysOps certifications. You must have knowledge about what are the services uh, which are covered in SysOps and developers, because the DevOps certification is basically covering all the services which are covered in developer and the SysOps administrator certification exam.
Do they have any certificate for database or data warehouse? People who are deal with all the time with their databases.
Yeah, they do have a certification for data security. They have one certification, and they do have some certifications if you're coming from data science background or if you're coming from machine learning background. They do have certifications for those as well. But
And
these
for,
are the yes,
and
please go ahead. Yeah.
and for those certification, you don't need to have this certificate needs to be clear, right? It can go individually. You can, I can
Yes,
just,
you can go
okay,
individually. Yep.
cool, thanks.
It looks like you have a question in the chat.
Okay, now let us discuss about the uh, program offerings which coding bootcamps is providing. Okay, so we will be providing a live hands-on class where we'll be discussing about all the services which are covered in these certification exams Okay, we will be priorly covering the cloud practitioner, the cloud solutions architect, the cloud developers, and the cloud SysOp administrator certification exam. So this is will be a kind of a master course where you will be learning all the 4 certifications and all the services which are covered in the certifications, and it will be a completely hands-on class where you will be doing the hands-on, and we will be also doing some of the hands-on projects, and we will be also discussing some of the industry use cases. So in this class you will be able to get all the knowledge about how to pass the certification exam. You will be getting some sample papers through which you can apply for the certification exam, through which you can practice for the certification exams. And we will be covering all the services which are covered in the certification exam. So these are the services which we are going to cover in the certification exam. So by doing this course, you will be able to easily clear the certification exam. Plus, you will be able to implement a solution. You will be able to host a solution on the cloud environment. Okay, there are some freelancing jobs also available, they only look for candidates who have only knowledge about implementing the resources on the cloud, who don't have any knowledge about implementing any solution, who are not certified. So by this program, you will be mastered with the certification exams, as well as you will become an master in the hands-on as well to implement any solution on the cloud. So these are basically all the program offerings. You will be learning all those things hands-on. Also, we do provide interview preparation, and we also do provide resume help. And you will also get one instructor who will be 24/7 available and will be mentoring you. Okay, do you guys have any questions about the training program? So these are the certifications basically we cover. Yes, yes, please.
Yeah, this is probably leading into what you're talking about, but can you speak to what the format of your live training classes is?
Yeah, actually, if you go to this link, so we will be providing you all the syllabus and what are all the topics which we will be covering in the course, and also what are the services and what hands-on we are going to do and what are the project we will be covering. Everything will be shared by the mail. I will ask my team to send send emails for detailed information what will be covered throughout the course, what will be the project, what will be the hands-on projects which we will be doing, and what certification we are going to go through. Yeah, you can directly contact Matt. He is the organizer of this webinar, and he will guide you how you can register for the class, and he will provide you all the details about the program offerings. Okay, do you guys have any other questions? And here is the list of the upcoming webinars which we'll be having. Which will be on Kubernetes, another will be on Docker, and one will be on DevOps. These are basically more if you know you have some prior knowledge of cloud or you are coming from a DevOps background, these certifications. Okay, I'm going to share the webinar slides on the chat. Okay, I've shared the webinar slides on the chat. You can go through the slides and you can go through the program offerings. Anyways, we will be sending you a mail with detailed information about what will be covered in the certification exam, what will be the hands-on projects, and what will be the live project will be working on. Okay, do you guys have any other questions?
I don't think so. Thank you.
All right. All right. Thank you everyone for joining. You can mail us at info@myhost.org if you have any other questions or queries. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining. Have a nice day ahead. Thanks.